Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Have you ever been told that you don't look goth enough, or you don't look like a goth, and then become automatically discounted or called a poser or made to feel insignificant because of the way that you're dressed or the way that you're not dressed? That is a big thing that goes on within the subculture, and I wanted to kind of preface this video by saying that fashion does not a goth make. Fashion is something that has historically been a form of expression. It's an art form. It's the way that we express ourselves, and it speaks to our personality with the way that we select clothes, or the way that we design them, or the way that we put them together in different ways. So no two people wearing the same outfits are going to look the same because we bring our own things to the table. So I do want to preface this video by assuring you that what you're seeing, I'm going to be doing an unboxing or an unbagging, and in doing so, I don't want you to look at this video and think that this is something that you need. This is a requirement in order to be part of the subculture, because I'm going to do another video on this separately, but when I was a baby bat and I was new to the subculture, it was important to me to look like other people. I wanted to look like those I looked up to in the subculture. It wasn't necessarily me representing myself, and I was just looking at everyone else, and I wanted to look like that. So, and it wasn't even necessarily things that maybe I would have chosen if I had the option. It was just so important to me that I look like everyone else, that I just have those things. And looking back, I can remember some of the pieces, and I don't think I would necessarily choose them. I don't necessarily think there would be things that I would be into, but I just felt like I had to have them in order to be accepted, because that is the hugest thing when you're new to the subculture or a baby bat or even just part of it. Sometimes we just have imposter syndrome, and that's so normal. It might feel like it's just this abnormal thing, but it's not. Imposter syndrome is such a normal thing to experience within this subculture. So if somebody tries to come to you and say that fashion is the end-all be-all, and if you don't look a certain way that you're not part of the subculture, it's so crazy for me to say that out loud, because the feelings that I had about being inadequate and wanting to look like everybody else and having it be such a dire importance, nobody said it to me. Nobody told me you don't look goth enough, or you need to dress differently, or you need to have these things. No one ever said that to me. That was a sort of limitation and an expectation that I placed on myself. But nowadays, to see other people saying it to each other, whether it be on places like TikTok, which it mostly is, you have a lot of vapid people on there that kind of adopt the subculture just to be fashionable, and they're not really into it. But what sucks about that is that they're kind of adopting the subculture just to be fashionable and express themselves physically, call themselves a goth, but be classist toward other goths. Because not everybody has the money to shell out for this stuff. Honestly, the most incredible and interesting and intricate outfits I have ever seen are the ones that people DIY'd and put together by bits and pieces that their grandparents gave them. They got at thrift stores, they got at garage sales, they DIY'd at home, and then they slapped together. Those, by far, stood out the most. And that's because that is a true representative of who you are and yourself. And it shows. It shows that you're putting your creativity and your soul out onto your body versus some random goth in a box look, which it seems like a weird thing to say as I'm about to open a package that was sent to me by a goth shop. But this one is very special, and I'm happy to be able to present this one to you. And I did the thing that I usually do. I get the package, and I wait a certain amount of time so that I could forget what's inside, because I want my reactions to everything to be genuine. I don't want it to be rehearsed. I want you to see true reactions to what these things look like. And I will go through them, and I'm going to talk about how they're made. But the reason that it's special is because it is American-made, family-owned, mom-and-pop kind of business who started this business in Texas, and they started with t-shirts, and then they expanded into a larger family business where they're making the clothing here. But their big thing is being small, family-oriented, and it would be weird to consider a brand bragging about being slow, but in a world of fast fashion, it's like it's kind of a breath of fresh air. And the reason that they're slow is because they're doing it themselves. So this is Forest Inc. And Forest Inc. is 100% sweatshop free. They are certified. You can research it yourself and have a look. Their size and fit is very size inclusive. They go from extra, extra small to 5XL. And everything, including the packaging, is biodegradable, and you can even compost the mailer that they send the items in. And I believe it's made from cornstarch, which is also gluten-free, which is important. I'm sure you're not intending to eat the bag though. Committing to slow fashion, which in a world of fast fashion, I'm sure this is much appreciated. And they also have a commitment to educating their community on ethical practices, which I think is great. I'm excited about this brand. I'm excited to open up this package and have a look. As I said, haven't had a look through yet. I'm going to cover my address here, but as you can see, 100% compostable, which is fantastic, and it's made from cornstarch. Okay, moment of truth. First item. I'm just looking because these mailers are clear and I just keep seeing a lot of prints. And I always wonder where my head was at the time. To me, fashion has always been something very important. I've designed it ever since I was a little kid. Before I was even involved in the goth subculture, I was always designing clothing and trying to make clothing at home and doing it horribly until I took fashion sewing and textiles and I started to learn how to use patterns and stuff. But I've always been huge into fashion, and I go through these kind of cycles where I'm just obsessed with different things. I still have my mainstays and my tried and trues, but again, I want to really emphasize to you that this is a me thing. This is a thing that for other people who are interested in this sort of thing. This is not intrinsic to goth. This is not going to make or break you. It's not going to define you. This just happens to be something that I'm interested in. It's not something that you should feel like you have to do. Represent you. Don't worry about everyone else. Okay. That being said, I'm going to open this up and see what's inside. On first impressions, fabric. I want to go by feel. So the touch of this is very soft. It's got good stretch. We have 4-way stretch, great for ease of movement. It is incredibly soft fabric, but I want to see what this is made from. Off the bat, I gotta praise the way that this has been made. And this is gonna seem so nitpicky and strange, but the darts. See that? Right in there? And then you can probably see a little bit on the outside, that seam. Those darts, you wouldn't think make much of a difference, but even small boobs, big boobs, it doesn't matter. This, your chest is always going to curve outward. Even if you don't have boobies, your rib cage curves outward. And if this is just flat, it's going to hang silly. But the darts are what's going to add that shape. And you would be surprised at how many brands and companies just don't think to put in darts. But here we are. So this is a midi dress, and the print, oh yeah, I was in a mood that day. I feel like kind of putting this on now over this. But I'm looking for, here it is, a fabric label. I went with a medium. I always go with mediums because I'm never quite sure. I'm big here, smaller here. I got hips and a butt, so if need be, I can always cinch things in the waist, but medium's always a safer bet. So this is size medium, fabric composition. It is polyester and spandex. And I know I've discussed polyester on my channel before because I have this kind of love-hate relationship with it. Not all polyesters are created equal. So the polyesters that I was familiar with back in like the early days in the 90s when I was thrifting, the polyester that I was familiar with is the polyester that came from vintage clothing from like the 50s, the 60s, the 70s. And those things were like coarse and thick and just the most uncomfortable fabrics you can possibly imagine. And I think a lot of them, because I know a lot of things were repurposed, I feel like a lot of it was tapestry and curtains that were repurposed into dresses, but they were god awful. I know a lot of you remember this. Let me stand up. It is a maxi length dress. I'm going to put it over this because I'm kind of curious as to how it fits. So off the bat, I see I probably should have gone with a small. Oh no, maybe not, maybe not. Okay. I can't really back up and show you much more, but I do like the feel of this. So if you have sensory issues, with touch and fabric and things, I don't think that this is going to cause you any issues. It's very soft, very smooth, and it's got good stretch to it, and it doesn't give that impression of the polyester that I was referring to, but something I do want to see. Okay, I'm going to show you. Let me just take this off. So many of you out there, you will appreciate this. Adjustable straps. This, to me, is like huge green flag. Adjustable straps are everything, because especially for somebody like me, I'm short. Doesn't seem like it. A lot of people think that I'm taller than I am. Thank you. But I'm not. I'm a short girl, and the distance between here and here on me is very short. And when you're buying a bra, that kind of thing is really important. And I've noticed from buying bras that I think the average person buying a bra, the distance is a little bit longer, so they require more strappage. So when they adjust, sometimes they only adjust up to here, which is so annoying, and then I end up with a bra that I need to have altered. But not only does this adjust, which is really important for a dress, it adjusts all the way to the freaking front, and this brings it up really high. And why is that important? It's important for people who are also looking for modesty, because maybe you don't want that. You don't want chestage to show. Pulling this up and tightening it will bring it higher up, therefore making it a little bit more modest, a little bit more conservative, depending upon where you want to wear it. Maybe you want to wear it out to brunch with the fam. Who knows? I mean, the print is a little bit questionable for that, but other than that, I think that this is a great dress. I cannot wait to try it on. So again, fashion being a very subjective thing, something that I do like. I like a good print. If the print is interesting, or the color is interesting, it doesn't necessarily have to be solid black. And I know that a lot of you out there, you kind of like, you're interested in things where you're like, oh, I like that, but it's not necessarily goth because it's not all black. If you like it, that's all that matters. You're sitting there listening to Corpus Delicti while wearing this thing. Wearing a print or wearing a color does not make you any less part of the goth community. So, this is really soft. Okay, it's time. There's another print here. I remember this one now that I'm kind of getting into things, and I think there's a set here. Yeah, these two look the same. I'm a little scared actually of this one. Same fabric as the dress. Oh, I gotta be careful. There's desiccant in this, and I want to be careful with BAM. Oh, it has a lace trim. That's cute. Again, darts exactly where they're needed, because we have shape here, which is important. I like that little attention paid to detail. So this is very much the same as this dress, and I'm going to get into a little bit more depth with this because it's going to apply to that dress too. It has a trim, and this trim here that is all around this entire thing, same on that dress, is entirely elasticated, the whole thing. And why is that important? It's important for ease of movement. It's important for comfort. It's important if you have sensory issues. Sometimes you just don't like the feel of things on your skin. And those kinds of things are really important. Again, adjustable bra straps, goes all the way to the front. Very important. So we have Bear in mind, I am going to try these things on for you as well. We're going to do a try-on in the end. And, yeah, it's the same fabric, so 4-way stretch. And, oh, looks like I went with a size small here. Because I remember this one in particular, I know that I got a skirt with it. So it's a matching set, which also has the same lace trim on the bottom. Little things like that, when you see me get excited about that, I don't know if you're like, gosh, you're so dorky. But honestly, it's little things like this that really do make the difference. It's like the fact that they have the same trim. That's a big deal. Okay, more desiccant. Luckily, my dog isn't very mobile, because that would be an issue. The skirt has darts as well, all along the top. Look at this. Look at that. This is a big deal because these kinds of things are going to completely alter the way this thing fits you. It's going to conform to your body a lot better. And the only one thing, and this is me, because I have one of those like little pooches, you know, that like your stomach is like flat and it goes boop. It has that little, so many women have that. But it like, depending upon the kind of like skirt you put on me or the dress, if you cinch right above it, you look weird. You look like a sausage tied in the middle. It's not a testament to your body. It's not saying your body is crap. It's just saying you wouldn't want to tie it in the middle and make yourself look distorted and funky. And that's what it does. It makes you look distorted and funky. However, the way that this is, it's different. It's designed to sit a little bit lower on the hips, and I can see by the darts here that it's supposed to conform to your hips and your butt. So this is not going to give you the same sort of like thing that, you know, other companies kind of do. Like, and when I do fast fashion, that's what you get. You know, you get what you pay for. And again, this is incredibly well made. It has a slit up the side, same lace trim as the top. But I want to kind of show you the print as well on this. Same print. Even though these aren't the normal things that I would have typically gone for, they still sort of like, it didn't seem so far outside my comfort zone. So that's what I liked about it. It still fit my aesthetic in a lot of ways, and I'm excited to see what these look like on. I know I'm going to have to shoot this in 2 different days because I can't shoot outside today. We're going to do it tomorrow. This one is a little bit heavier. And yeah, I'm just checking this bag. Once again, 100% biodegradable. Spiderweb mesh. Okay. Do you know, and I've talked about this if you've ever seen my fashion haul videos. Whenever I see a concealed zipper, I'm filled with absolute terror and dread. But in this case, having looked at everything and looking at this, really looking at this and how it's made, I'm not concerned. It is so taut that I do not believe in a million years that this is going to get caught in the fabric, because we have serges. I don't know if you could see the strips. See those lines? That is not in the fabric. This is serged. So this is all to keep things fitted in a specific way and to keep it away from the zipper, because with these zippers, they can pull fabric into them when you're zipping up and down. So if it's sewn improperly and the fabric is, say, a little bit too drapey, it's too thick, what's going to happen when you zip up? Fabric's going to get stuck inside and it's going to seize. And it's going to rip the dress. It's a mess. I'm not in any way concerned about that with this. I'm actually really impressed with a lot of this. I want to try to give you like a better look, but the way that this dress is cut and designed, it reminds me of the gowns worn in the 1930s. Everything was sort of cut on a bias. Again, I'm hoping that when I try this on, you'll get to see it better, but I can't really showcase it very well in camera, but I can show you the fabric. So you're really going to get to see this on, but the best I can focus on right now, since I can't show you, it's like a really big long dress, is I want to focus on the fabric. So first and foremost, it's very, again, it's soft, but you can feel just by touching it how springy it is. So it's very elasticated. So it's a mesh with 4-way stretch. So you're going to have a lot of ease of movement. It's going to be comfortable. I'm almost 100% with this one that I went a size up. But if you do want to wear it more fitted, you're not going to have any issues with movement or anything like that. It's just there's a lot of dress, so it's a matter of finding the label. But I want to check the fabric content of this. Aha! Found it. Okay, yeah, so I went with a medium, and this one is 85% polyester and 15% spandex. So we have another polyester spandex blend. And with the blends, adding either elastane or spandex to anything is what's going to give it that stretchiness and that ease of movement. This has a higher concentration of spandex, which definitely tracks. Something that might help a lot of you that struggle with arm issues. I know that, like, I don't really like showing my arms very much because I work out, and I just have a very athletic build, and I can look a little bit diesel. So sometimes I don't like showing the upper arms. I just feel kind of strange. So I'll wear like long sleeve things, and something that helps if you don't like your upper arms. The way that this is cut. Do you see? Do you notice the curve? It kind of goes in and then out like that. That curve completely changes the silhouette. So what that does is it elongates and thins out the arms. So if you're kind of concerned that you look a little bit buff or thicker up here and you're self-conscious about the way that your arms look, that particular cut, rather than straight, this gives the impression of length. And when you have that length, it looks a lot less like, Urgh. If that's something that bothers you, maybe you want to look buff. I like to surprise people. Surprise! So this is, it's a top in the same fabric. I know what I did. Okay, I remember what I did. That dress is in the same fabric as this. And what I wanted to do, I think, is put this over it. And just kind of create, what size is this? I think it worked better in my head. This is a size medium. So there's a fun trick I'm going to show you. So you see this top? If, say, you're not feeling the whole tank top deal, you don't want your arms exposed for whatever reason, you can do this. Take any shirt that you like the sleeves, turn it upside down. Flip it over your head. Suddenly, we have a shrug. I feel like the Great Cornholio when I do this. This one's a bit tight, so it's harder to get off. I'm stuck. This is the same exact fabric as that dress, and the edges are serged, so we have lettuce edges. Let me just for funsies, I'm going to check this for darts. I don't think this particular kind of top would need it. I usually pull that shrug maneuver with cropped sweaters if I'm going out and it's a little bit cooler out, but it's not that cold, and I want to wear a skirt or a dress, and I'll put on a tank top, skirt, and then I'll do the sweater upside down and kind of pull it over, and then it works as a shrug. And we have one more thing, and it's kind of like the heaviest of all. Oh yeah, I don't know who I was the day that I selected these pieces, especially this. What is that for boobs? Oh, I see. Oh, okay. So, not really my style with the buckles, but I can see what I saw when I saw this. And I think in my head, I'm going to cover like the waist up with accessories. But the cut of this I really liked because they have a lot of images on the site, which is really good. You get to see the way that these things look on different sizes. You get to see what it looks like on somebody who is like an extra, extra small, and then someone closer to like a small medium, and then you get to see somebody who's more plus sized. And this dress looked good on all of them, and it was very flattering, and it has adjustable bra straps all the way to the front. This is important. Again, huge green flag. You can see that these things have been made with care and consideration, with a lot of different bodies in mind, because the fact that that's adjustable like this and all the way to the front, these definitely have been designed by people who have had the same issues and the same gripes. With this, I'm gonna have to wear a bra with that. I remember a lot of people were wearing this without a bra. I am not that ballsy, so I will be attempting to wear a bra with this one, but you can kind of cinch it here. The fabric on this one is very much the same as the printed dresses. I just want to double check. I went with a medium on this one too. 93% polyester and 7% spandex. So spandex for ease of movement, because we like a good stretch. And the thing that I like about basically all of these things is that the fabric doesn't raise any alarm bells. I didn't touch a single garment and want to hurl it across the room because it gave me the shivers, because you know some things you touch them and it's like, oh, I didn't get any of that with any of these. So from the looks of it, this is incredibly, I don't even see loose threads. This is very well made. Yeah, I don't even see loose threads or anything like that. It's very well made. It has these little loops here, and I am curious why. I'm guessing something needs to go through there. So I see how they go. Okay, so they get away with it without a bra because you have the bra straps, and then this ties behind like this. And I think this little loop here, there's like a little comeback loop. This right here. I'm gonna put my finger through it. This loop here, after you tie this at the back, I think is meant to kind of push through this loop and keep these contained and have it look a little bit more neat. And it's little details like that that really shows you that there's really been a lot of like care and attention that went into this. The top part of this dress is double lined. So it's the soft fabric on one side, and the other side is kind of similar to like a bathing suit material, but I'll show you. See? There's a seam, but there's two fabrics here, and that is definitely for comfort as well as modesty, because it's kind of a built-in bra situation. So you're gonna need that in order to facilitate the girls. Again, I don't know if I'm gonna get away, because they're heavy. I don't know if I can get away with wearing no bra with this. I'm gonna try it. I'm not saying I'm gonna film it, but I'm gonna try it because I wanna see if it kind of lives up to that. But that is absolutely everything. So going back and touching on being a baby bat or being in the subculture and having either imposter syndrome or getting involved in online drama or seeing content or even having interactions with people that have put it in your head that you need to look a certain way in order to be part of the subculture, or you see things like this. You know, you see people do hauls, you see them doing unboxings and think, well, I need that. You know, this is somebody who is a content creator in the subculture. Clearly they know what they're talking about. This is what I need. I do this because I like it. I do this because I'm curious. I like fashion. When I'm approached by fashion brands and they want to know my opinion on things, I'm absolutely going to give it. And I'm also happy to receive clothing. I love clothing, have always loved fashion, but not everybody does. And I know that there is a lot of pressure to look a certain way, because we live in a digitized world, and living in this world, this is what people see first. They don't know what's in your heart. They don't know your favorite music. They don't know your personality. That comes later. So living in a world like that, I can see why it is so easy to get caught up in that. I think it's very classist of people to just assume that the goth subculture is not only fashion oriented, but to judge a person's character, their worth, based on their clothing. How classist is that? Who has the money? My sister just came home, so I had to pause for a minute, but I kind of forget where I am, but I really just wanted to make sure that I reiterate that goth is not a fashion movement. Fashion doesn't define you as a person. It doesn't define your worth within the subculture. So it's important that you really understand that and not think that you have to look a certain way or have all of this money to spend on goth attire. But that being said, goth fashion isn't something that isn't open to basically everybody, because fashion, again, is a form of self-expression. Fashion is an art form. It's the way that we express ourselves. So whereas you have goths within the subculture that might not look like your typical goth, there is an aesthetic associated with the subculture, something that you can look at and you can say without any doubt or hesitation, whoa, that is a very goth look. But that doesn't mean that everybody has to subscribe to that particular look, because there are people that are within the subculture that choose to look in many different ways, not just that, because fashion is a form of expression. The only difference is wearing the clothes doesn't necessarily make you a goth. And a lot of people out there, not everybody, but a lot of the people out there who are spending all of this money and making all of this content and portraying themselves as a goth are the ones that are criticizing other people for not living up to their physical standards, and that's not okay. So yes, goth fashion is absolutely open to everybody. So I want to try these on, see how they fit, and then I want to get to filming what they look like. So if you're interested in the try-on, stay tuned. I'm going to show you exactly what these look like. And as far as recommendations, would I recommend them based on what I saw? And do I think that they're durable? I would say yes, they look durable. They look like they can go through it. But I will definitely be the judge when I try these on. It does need a little bit further exploration because I want to see these things on. I want to move in them and I want to see how they function. But as far as what I've seen, I would say that, yeah, it does seem like that they do live up to that. And I'm going to give these all a thumbs up. I think that they're great and I think you should check them out. So links will be in the description to the specific items as well as the store. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, guys.